And it says the mind is responsible for both bondage and liberation, and in terms of the bondage wise, it brings the information from through the sense organs, and it becomes a bhava bandha hetuhu. It is responsible for bondage because whenever the mind is there, the subject-object relationship is there. When the mind is not there, no subject-object relationship. Therefore, all the samsara comes because of the subject-object and raga-dveshas, because of the vasanas coming in between and making the likes and dislikes coming into picture, and that is what the samsara is. So therefore, bhava bandha hetuhu. So it is responsible for bondage as well as liberation also. So here it is only talking about bandham. And now here he is going to analyze in the next sloka, in the 172, the dream analysis. So one has to be careful in extending the dream analysis to the waking, but here it's going to be done, but we have to understand because later it will be clarified further. So when we look at let's look at the sloka 172. Swapnertha sunye srujati swasaktya, Swapnertha sunye srujati swasaktya, Bhoktradi vishvam manayeva sarvam, Bhoktradi vishvam manayeva sarvam, Tathaiva jagrat chapino viseshaha, Tathaiva jagrat chapino viseshaha, Tatsarvametat manaso vijrumbhanam, Tatsarvametat manaso vijrumbhanam. So swapni, in the swapna, in the dream state, so artha sunyaha, so there are no, to toss with, there is no objects there. So when I am sitting and sleeping in a air conditioned room with all the darkness and all that, and I go into a dream state, and when I dream, and there are no really objects because objects are all outside. I am sleeping and I am not taking any objects with me into the dream. In fact, I cannot take it anyway, but here it's essentially artha sunyam. There is no padartha sunyam. Artha sunyam is padartha sunyam. Padartha means there are no objects of any kind, but srujate swasaktiha, but they are created by the mind. So here have to be careful which mind creates also. So we have to be, this sloka has to be clearly understood, otherwise there is a possibility for misunderstanding and misinterpreting even the waking state. So swapne artha sunyaha, there are no objects, and srujati swasaktya, by its own shakti, the mind is itself creating the objects. So when I am dreaming the rivers and valleys and even tigers and human beings and everybody in the dream, I am not taking the human beings outside. I may dream you in my dream, but you are outside only. I am creating your own image there in my dream. Same way, I am creating all the objects and just based on my knowledge of the waking world. So I am a sarvajnaha. The mind that is creating should know what I am creating. Without the knowledge of creation, I cannot create even in dream. So I cannot create a gaga boo because I don't know what gaga boo is. So for me to create a gaga boo in my dream, I should have the knowledge of gaga boo in the mind when I am in the waking state. And if I don't know what an object, where that object is, I will not be able to dream. But I can create new things in the dream by assembling things that I know in the waking state. And similar example is the hares with horns. So this is a classical example because there are no hares with horns in the waking state. So this comes under asat, according to the Nayayikas, because no one has experienced a hare with the horns, at least in this world, in this earth at least, no one in the earth has experienced. So from that point, there is no, the existence of a hare with the horns is not ever established. Therefore, it comes under asat. Whereas, in the case of Vandhya Putraha, the asat Vandhyaputra means the son of a barren woman. The asat part, the non-existence part is a logical contradiction. So not only in this earth, anywhere also you cannot have Vandhyaputraha. That means son of a barren woman, because there is a self-contradiction in the very statement itself. So whereas the horns of the hare is not, there is no self-contradiction, but no one has experienced it, therefore it's considered as the non-existent. But even the non-existent things in the waking state, I can create, because I know what is a hair and what are horns. I can assemble it in the dream. Therefore, I can create even that in the dream. So this has to be clear. So mind has the capacity to create things based on the knowledge of. Therefore, mind, which mind? It is the waker's mind that creates. So you have to be careful here. This is the Swapnarthi Sunyi Srujati Swasaktya. Swasakti, the Shakti we are talking about, the Srujati creation corresponds to the mind which is now sleeping. That is the waking mind that has the knowledge of all the objects. Artha Jnanam is there, Padartha Jnanam is there, and that Jnanam becomes a seed for creating the things in the dream, depending upon the vasanas that has to be exhausted in the dream. So you have to be careful here. So even though I have a capacity and I know knowledge of so many things in the waking world, only the dream comes only because of those vasanas that are ready to germinate in the dream, called the suppressions and oppressions of the waking state, are the ones that are ready to germinate, and only those vasanas, and to exhaust those vasanas only, the worlds are created. So if I have seen a tiger somewhere and I was afraid of it in the movie or somewhere, and when I go into a dream, that impressions in the waking state, and that became a strong, and I may project it in the dream, and that tiger may be that I can create, and that is now asking the tiger to chase me also. All that is possible only because I have the knowledge. So who is the creator? Which mind creates? Remember, when I am going to a dream, I am dreaming the whole world, plus also I enter into the world with the body, creating a body that's conducive to exhaust the vasanas in that dream. So with that, whatever the capacity, I may be blind in the waking state, but I can have a vision in the dream. So that with the capacity to see is available, capacity to hear also. So instruments may be defective, but all the five senses are functional or available even in the dream. That's why Ekona Vimsati Sadaha, they say it has a 19 gateways through which it interacts with the world. Similarly, same statement in the waking state. Ekona Vimsati Mukhaha. The five faces in which it is interacting with the world, both in the waking state and in the dream state. So here, Swapnarthi Sunyi Srujati Swasaktyaha. So the Swasakti, by its own power, it is Srujati, it's creating. Now this mind we are talking about, it is the waker's mind that is creating based on the vasanas and based on the knowledge of creation. Both are required. The knowledge of creation is there as a potential knowledge, because he knows all the things that are there in the waking world. Only that knowledge that he has used will be used in the creation of the dream. So here the sloka should be Swapnertha Arthasunyam, that is no objects there, and Swasaktya Srujati, creating by its own power. Bhoktradi Vishwam Manayeva Sarvam. So Sarvam Padartham is essentially Srujati. All things are being created, and Manayeva Swasaktya Sarvam Bhoktradi Vishwam Srujati. So mind alone creates all that. So Tataiva Jagratyapi no Viseshaha. So now the clarity should be the waking mind is the one who is creating the dream world. in the dream world, all the dream world and all that is going on, the drama is going on in the mind, that is in the waker's mind. In that, even though the waker is sleeping, that is the mind is responsible for the creation. And where is that mind in the dream? You have to be careful here. Where is that mind that is creating the dream? In the dream, where is it? It is pervading the whole creation, because everything is in the mind only. So the tiger also, that in the mind only. The forest also in the mind only. And rivers and everything is also. The sun and the moon and the stars and whole universe, cosmos of the dream world is in the mind only. What mind? The total mind. The total mind is nothing but the waker's mind. It is the total mind of the dream is nothing but the waker's mind that is creating, not the local mind. Local mind is what?